Welcome to another episode of DeezyVision. It's another beautiful day here in Nassau Bahamas, and today we're going to be doing a tour of the John Watlings Distillery. Now, I've been hearing about this tour for quite some time, and I never got a chance to do it, and so today we're going to get that done. Now, before we go on the inside, I just want to show you where the John Watlings Distillery is located. That street out of the end there, that's West Street. And remember, we were there not too long ago because we did a tour of the National Art Gallery of the Bahamas there. So that is West Street, and this street here where the distillery is, this is Delancey Street. Now, you won't be able to turn right off of or left off of West Street to get onto Delancey Street because this is a one-way street. And so you're gonna have to either take the entrance that's on the other side on a meeting street, or you're gonna have to come off of the entrance on Nassau Street, which is located on that end there, to get up to this front entrance of the John Watlings Distillery. All right, now we're taking a walk along that front pathway of the John Watlings Distillery. That'll take us to the front entrance where the tour will begin. And I just want to mention that the tour is complimentary. You don't have to pay for it, and the tours start at 10 a.m. and they go until 6. I think it's 6 p.m. But they advise that if you want to take the tour, try and come before 5. And you can see here we got some guys out here chilling. I don't know if they're taking the tour or if they live here. And as we go up, you can see we're approaching the front entrance of the John Watlings Distillery right up there at this building here. Oh, and I also want to mention that if you want to have an event here at the John Watlings Distillery, you can also book this place to have your private events. And what I'll do is I'll try to put some information on how you can contact John Watlings Distillery in the comment section. And so as we walk up, this here would be the main entrance where you would start the tour.
Alright, so first off, what I'd like to do is I'd like to welcome you all here at John Watlings Distillery. Now here at John Watlings, you offer free samples, which we'll be doing in just a minute, as well as free tours. Tours are about 10 minutes, get started whenever you're ready, so whenever you're ready, just let me know.
You ready?
Alright, so without further ado then, before we really get into things, I want to let you know, here inside the Bahamas, we do have a lot more to offer than just sun, sand, sea, and pina coladas. You also have a lot of history, a lot of culture, about 1,500 plus years worth from then to now. I want to get started sharing that with you by first taking the time to introduce you all to our original indigenous inhabitants. Now, these people right here are actually known to us as the Lucayans or the Arawaks, or amongst themselves, the Lukakari, which literally translates to people of the small islands. So they migrated here all the way from South America as early as around 500 or 600 AD, made landfall right here inside the Bahamas, and made most of their living off the land, as you can imagine. That's a lot of fishing, a lot of farming, and they were generally known to be a very, very peace-loving set of people. As a matter of fact, they enjoyed this peaceful way of life for quite some time, all the way up until 1492, when this guy decided to sail the ocean blue. Of course, what you're looking at just there is Christopher Columbus himself, and as the story goes, when he made landfall here inside the Bahamas, he came here in search of natural resources more so than anything else. Unfortunately, he came across the Lucayans instead, and you could probably piece together what happened after that. The Lucayans, as they were all taken into slavery, brought back to work in the mines in places like Cuba, Spain, and Hispaniola, and because their bodies cannot handle the harsh conditions they were being put through, they all died out as a result, leaving the Bahamas as it was, completely uninhabited for the next 130 years following this, which brings us over here. Alright, so 1647, at this point in time, a group of English Puritans in search of someplace where they could actually practice their religious freedoms freely and make landfall on the family island known as Luthra. And once they touched down on that island, they pretty much had no other choice but to stay there after their boat had been completely wrecked due to a storm that passed over. They were stranded on the island, had to make the best out of a bad situation, and as a result would go on to be known to us as the Eleutherian Adventurers. So this is all in 1647. Going into 1648, we'd officially become a British colony, colony, and all the way up until 1718 is actually when we became a crown colony, okay? And we remained under the British all the way up until July 10th, 1973, when the Bahamas, as it was, finally gained independence. And as you can tell by the 19 in front of the 73, that actually isn't that much long ago at all. Only about 46 going on 47 years as a matter of fact. So that truly means, to put it into even greater perspective for you, is that there are people alive in this country today that are older than the latest constitution of the country itself. So if you ever come into contact with a Bahamian that is 60 years plus, be sure to ask them where they were on the night of independence. I guarantee you'll always get a very beautiful, vivid story. So you're all headed right down the stairs for me, gathering at the water well. Believe it or not, this site you all are standing on right now has a lot of history behind it. What you're seeing in front of you right here is actually our hand-cut well. Now, the well here is about 74 feet deep, 200 years old, and the walls of the well are actually carved out of limestone. The limestone naturally filters out the water, so while you'll always find at least 2 feet of fresh water at the bottom of this well, what you'll also find is a lot of phones, cameras, people's kids, things drop down there all the time, and they stay down there. Now, you'll actually find a lot of these hand-carved structures all throughout New Providence. Places like Fort Charlotte, for example, which is actually the largest fort here on the island, for the most part, is actually carved out of the limestone hill that is sitting on top of, as well as the Queen's Staircase, which is actually dedicated to Queen Victoria, each step in the staircase representing 1 year of her rule, also actually hand chiseled out of the limestone hill that is actually inside of. So again, these are all things that if you do get a chance to check it out before you leave, I highly suggest you take that chance. Now, the name that you see all over the place on all the signs and all the barrels on my shirt, John Watlings. This is the name of a 17th century pirate that actually died during a raid in Arica, Peru. He was killed due to a nasty gunshot wound to the liver, which is kind of why we named the place after him. Because if you drink too much rum, it shoots to your liver and you die. Watlings actually lived here in the Bahamas on the island of San Salvador, the same island that Christopher Columbus stumbled upon on his journey to the New World. Now from here, we actually got some samples for you all, the same samples I mentioned earlier. That's the pina colada with the John Watlings amber rum on the inside. You can all go ahead and help yourselves.
Drinking pina coladas.
You can all step on the inside for me. Now as you're walking in there, you can take all the pictures you like. So you can take black.
Let me shine, yo.
The aging, the blending, as well as the production. As you look down into your right, you can see the aging happening right in front of you. Each of those barrels are actually all filled with some of our John Watlings spirit on the inside. Our rum gamble going from light to dark, starting at 2 and ending at 6 years. As you look down in front of you on my stainless steel table, that's where the production actually happens. Everything you see on all of our bottles is actually all done by hand, from the numbering to the labeling. As a matter of fact, this is the only place that we do any of this, so any bottle that you come across on your stay here, whether it be at the smaller local liquor stores or large hotels, all of them would have actually come from right here. Now, as you probably noticed on your way in, we got some barrels laid out for you all, each with a different John Watlings rum on the inside. Starting over here, nearest where you came in, we got the John Watlings Pale Rum, youngest of the bunch, 2 years age. Now, the next one we got over here is some of our John Watlings Amber Rum. 3 years age, carries more woody, oaky characteristics. People who like scotches and whiskeys tend to like this one a whole lot more. This is actually the very same one that you would have tasted inside your free sample earlier. You can all step up and get your smell.
I love it.
Now, next in the lineup, what we got over here is some of our John Watlings Buena Vista rum. 5 years age, it's one of the darker and smoother rums we make at John Watlings Distillery. So this is one that's really don't have to mix it much of anything at all. You can drink it straight if you like. This is actually my personal favorite, not just because it's a great sipping rum, but more so because it blends really nicely with my personal favorite cocktail. It is a dark and stormy on the rocks. You can all step up and get a smell of that for yourselves.
Do you reuse the?
All right. Now, the next one we got here is some of our John Watlings single barrel rum. Now, this is the eldest of the bunch, ages 6 years. It's also the strongest of the bunch at 66.2% volume of alcohol, making it 132 proof. So you might want to take your time with that. Now, this one is actually made in a fashion similar to like a single malt scotch or a single malt whiskey, which means despite the high alcohol content, you're actually expected to drink it straight. What you're also expected to do is add 2/3 water to the mix. This opens it up, makes it easier for you to experience the different flavors, notes, and aromas, and you'll actually be able to walk it off once you're done. Now, where I'm taking you off from here is just out of the distillery and up inside an Alcoholics Paradise, where you'll all be able to buy a bottle of John Watlings rum for yourself.
Well, that does it for our tour here at the John Watlings Distillery. Now, I'll give you a little more information. The tour It's a very short tour. I like the fact that it was short and to the point. It's a short tour. It's about 7 to 10 minutes maximum. So I'm glad I got to come in. I'm glad I got to get it done. And I encourage you to come on down and do the tour. It's free. It's absolutely free for locals, for visitors alike. It's absolutely free. So come on down and take advantage of this tour. They give you some samples of the rum that they have there, and you can also purchase some of the rums that they sell here at the John Watlings Distillery. And if you are visiting the island of Nassau, make sure that you ask your tour guide, ask your taxi driver to bring you down here to the John Watlings Distillery to do this tour. And also, remember, I told you earlier that you can also rent the place. You can rent the distillery grounds to do your private events. So what I'll do is I'll try to put some information in the description section so that you can contact them if you would like to do a private event here on the John Watlings Distillery grounds. So that does it for the tour. That does it for us today. Thank you for joining me. I'm about to get up out of here, but first,
I wish I knew.